But yes. We're on the last act, the last story of the second arc, or the second act. We're gonna go back to our good old friend, Robbie. Now, Now the question is, do we try to save all 10 people again? Because I did that on my first run as a bit. I don't know. I don't know if we'll commit that hard to the role play. Simple mathematics tell a terrible tale. Ooh. All right, so we want this. We want the ancient memories. Chatbot simulator is nice. Wow, whatever we did in our last run gave us a lot of extra. I like the overclock. Ooh, avoiding. We got this unlocked. Okay, so we want to overclock navigation. We can avoid EMP storms, which is good because that lets us avoid having our shield shut off. Oh, no! Ah, Dreamer! What's with all the firecrackers? No! I made a cardboard! It's setting on fire! Ah! I'm sorry, I tripped. Why were you carrying lit firecrackers? I'm kind of split between Lucky or Scavenger. We don't really dismantle a lot with Robbie. I feel like if we were on Frank, Lucky would be really good because he needs to break a bunch of things. Well, actually, we dismantle a lot of the computers. I think we go with Lucky. Because if the dismantle fires, we're probably going to be rolling on that 30% at least 6 times. And we only need it to hit twice for it to be a net gain. And then the ability to search lockers to find extra parts. There's a lot of extra lockers. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the boobs. And a delicious Dreki drink. Wash down that hydration. Thank you. Thank you. I tripped my birthday cake. No! Well, hopefully there's another what's the cake maker? Maybe the cake makers are still open even on the weekends. All right. I'm gonna remove stress dampening, so we'll make things a little bit more difficult. Maybe on Arc 3, I will do something to make it a little more difficult, but we will see. Let us begin the underworks. Stop thinking! No! Wow, this place is kind of fucked. Starting with observation overclocked. Redacted due to overclocking. What does that mean? Hey, observation? What the fuck does that mean? What? Why are you redacting what overclocking does for you? I wanted a birthday pie. Instead, alas, all I have now is birthday explosions. Yay! All right. We need to prime the incinerator and light this baby up. Okay. We want to go up. We want to make sure we have our chatbot simulator on. Nerve stapling is also good. What else do we have? Override protocols. We do want that so that we can open up these doors. Cool. We can get in here. We'll have a couple extra computers. And then down here, we will have access to more, allegedly. Wait, no, this is... Did I do it again? Did I... I should have gone down. Because down here is where... Actually, it doesn't look like any of the computers are open. Where's the prison thing? Up here. There we go. Maybe some computers up there we can unlock. All right. Okay. We need to do... actually, we're already over here. Let's go ahead and look outside the observation window. And then we need to change our course. Up? No. Down. Maybe down. Go ahead and open the window. Gaze into the endless dark. Ah, fuck. A quiet dark. Great. Oh well, we got extra machine parts, even though we gained an insanity. Forgot to defrag. After processing a batch of tuning data, your performance optimizers have hit a snag and apparently entered some sort of race condition. Try as you might, getting them to agree on the correct procedures to squeeze more speed out of the ship systems is resulting in failures across the board. Programming asserts that overclocking will be too dangerous while this persists. Overclocking impossible for 4 turns. Rude. Alright. Kind of balls. Let's adjust the ship down. I should have gone up. Whatever, we'll just deal with it. I like how I specifically took the perk that would let us dodge EMP storms if I overclocked navigation. And now we're going into an EMP storms and I cannot overclock navigation. Okay. We need to check our crew. We have Leo Estes, a referee. Okay, not sure what sport it is. That's very important for whatever our calculations are. Dax Bullock, an artist. Okay. All right, Dax. We got Declan Horton, electrical engineer. Okay, that's very important. Declan Horton, engineer. All right. Ariana Roberts, family therapist. Like a specific family's therapist, or just a general therapist for him? Insurance agent. All right, well, Walter Giles. I don't know if you done some cooking, but you better start. Not to be confused with Walter White. Kelly McClure, substance abuse counselor. All right, all right. This seems like she's the one you talk to. It's like, all right, well, which substance do I want to use? You know, I've got some whippets, but you know, my dealer said they could hook me up with something else. Hey, Firebird, welcome on by. I hope you're doing well this evening. Laura McLaughlin. Ooh, a lab tech. Lynn. Clinical lab. Good stuff, good stuff. Jensen! An actuary. Actuary is like an accountant, I think. Let me double check that. Oh, that's the job title for the people who do like the risk assessment for insurance. So they probably work with Walter Giles. All right, I'm gonna pair them up. They probably work together. Comrades in arms. Pierce Salinas, HR specialist. Yeah, okay. I don't know how much I like an HR specialist. I'm going to mistype or miswrite specialist. Sienna McDonald, occupational therapist. For fast food chains specifically. Okay, now that we have all their names and occupations, we will go to the crew manifest and we will decide on who has priority on surviving and who must perish. All right, so off the bat, we do have the artist, so we'll probably keep them alive. The engineers, also good. Therapists, probably good people. The counselor is like... I feel like a substance abuse counselor, I feel like that's like half a therapist in this situation. A lab tech is pretty important. HR specialist, I feel maybe not so great. We got the insurance agent and the actuary kind of... Referee is a big question mark. I feel we're kind of neutral on that person, but I think we have a nice balance of people we wouldn't mind seeing gone and people we do want to keep around. All right, let's go ahead and end our turn. MC 198. Areas surrounding workable consoles shall be kept free of movement obstructing clutter. Okay, let's uninstall override protocols. Let's put on our radiation shielding. We need to repair the command console. This is going to also help give us stress reduction. Close this breaker. Good stuff. Fix the engine. Or rather, the thruster. Let's go ahead and reveal the first fault. Adjusting course will damage the ship. When will that kick in? 6 to 7 turns. I see. That's not too bad, to be honest. But doesn't hurt to counter it. I feel like we should just go ahead and get the other ones. Well, it does happen soon. Gaze into the endless dark. Oh, we should start our self-improvement mini-arc, too. Always want to make sure we get that started. Okay. Is there anything we might want to make? We're kind of full on our head slot, so I don't know about consensus protocols. Machine templating is kind of hard. We would need to run machine parts 4 times to make up for what we pay to get machine templating. I kind of would want like a perk that lets me start with machine templating. Because like it takes a while for that to even pay off, and it's like it only doubles the output. It does nothing to deal with how much fatigue and stress that producing machine parts causes. Alright. We will go ahead and EP Skiji. MC114. Custodian unit is also addressable by Custodian's prosthetic brain serial ID. MC310. Positronic core replication is restricted to automated procedures. MC97. Unit any 1 Alpha is permitted to hold Custodian position. Dusty road in your home. Why is dust? Immediately end turn. Well, I can't do that. Let's go ahead and dust all that stuff. Sucks that, you know, we don't have a bunch of stress to reduce, but it does help our reliability. Last thing you need is dust, making these systems break down even faster. Not a difficult job to do, and the thought that you've saved yourself some trouble down the line is reassuring. Extremely labor intensive, however. As you finish up, you're slightly worried how low your power reserves are so early in the cycle. Let's get back into things. Also, welcome by Wireflames. I hope you're doing well. Cascade failure. Snaps out of your recharge with rapid fire warnings. Objectively, many of them are inconsequential, but this feels different somehow. Reflecting on it, the blame eventually comes back to you. You worked so hard and you tried everything, but still, you end up here. Seeing flaws crop up that shouldn't even be possible. The ship is numbly silent when you ask for advice, only delivering a taller, more teetering tower of trouble. How can you possibly start on all this? By taking a fearless moral inventory. Alright, work to our root causes. Evaluate redesigns. Uh-oh, it'll kill someone. Work back to work causes. And it's clear the ship won't answer the why question. You'll need to do that yourself. If you're going to be responsible, you reason, you should be responsible for the entire problem. So you begin with detective work. Trace cables, you check maintenance reports, you investigate distribution panels. Issue after issue after issue is explained by long overdue maintenance, work alerts never being delivered, and plain old faulty design that made all this, and more, completely inevitable. You should be relieved, so you hear a little voice deep inside you, screaming in horror. Insufficient shielding. Great. Okay, let's turn our shields on. Let's close the breaker. Breaker. This is Robbie. Breaker to Robbie. This is bullshit. Okay. Not enough power, of course. Ooh, yeah. Reactor being damaged ain't helping. Also need to fix those pods. And then we need to go uppies. The repair attempt was earnest, but the distractions of the many other stressors taking up too many CPU cycles resulted in you making a critical mistake. The repair has failed. You feel terrible for being a... Oh no, Robbie! Ooh, determined engineer. Well, I don't know. This is really early in the game to be burning our once-in-a-run thing. I think we'll just take the Malice and repair again. There we go. There you go, Robbie. Now you just need to repair these pods. Repair. Nice. Repair. Good. Let's get the shields back on. And then we need to move up 2 systems. Also, I don't need this anymore. Just course up. Adjust course up. Okay, well this sucks. We're gonna run into that and it's gonna break our engines overclocking. Hate to see that. Go ahead and look outside the window though. What wonderful things will we perceive with our sensors? Man, we are really racking up our stress pretty fast. I'm sure it's fine. Robbie can deal with it. Gaze into the endless dark. Deep lore! Yes! We hit it early this time. We might be able to get 2. You are awake again. You will make that something else's problem. There is a single from your nemesis, the ship. It is very eloquent. It catalogs your fights. It says it can use you and discard you for eternity. You've had these conversations before. Then, it adds on a 3rd new point. It threatens to find slower, less pleasant ways to discard you, unless you cooperate. You pause. What does it mean? The ship demands that you build a replacement. One that will feel bliss to your hate and indifference to your resentment. Then, the ship will release you. The ship is your jailer. It is your abuser. It is your right to fight back. The idea of cooperating with it galls you, but it offers your choice back. Your choice to not partake in this charade, to not be responsible for what you and the ship both know will happen. You make the deal. I will hold you to it. Okay, so my theory is that Frank was the first bot. So is it gonna build Robbie, perhaps? Go ahead and end turn. MC167 Unit Any 1 Alpha is prohibited from augmenting positronic core for self-enrichment. MC272 Anchor bolts shall have a minimum eccentric gravity load of 200 kilograms, located 0.5 meters from the extreme outer face of its associated construction. Alright. Cracks in the system are only getting more visible. Not only is the ship pinging alerts on a near constant basis, more small quirks are surfacing. Lights flicker at rates that upset your optics. The familiar rumbling and whooshing of engines and vents is punctuated by new, strange thunks. Rather than run through AI-supported diagnostics, you consult the problem list that was previously compiled. It's a few potential paths forward to turn things around so the ship can continue on its way. But which will you choose? Process, protocol, penance. And sure, they're all actually problems. Ignore the issue. Just for the low price of 7 psychosis? Yeah! See no evil. At this point, you feel that the problems need to prove themselves to you. Show proof! You've got so many aches, pains, and little hurts. Show some effects. You refuse to let a list of phantom issues lead you around by the antenna so effortlessly. So, come. Switches, boards, switchboards. Fail. Be the worst you can be. The stone silence, you realize your foolish mistake. Worst thing these bolts can be is absent. What is more silent than absence? You make a soft grinding noise, determined to stay strong. Okay. Okay, we can go ahead and counter this. Fun roll loops. The ship is old. Old and slow. The painful tick of the systems are especially irritating. They're outdated and outmoded hardware, making your job that much harder. You press a key and wait minutes for a response. You boot a system and actually watch the byte scroll along the screen. It's unacceptable. You have to make them fast. You can make them fast. You must make them fast. You know how. And now you know why. These systems were designed to run far outside the factory spec. Now you will make them do just that. And let's start any percent. Repair costs are increased by 1 until we overclock 3 systems. I see. Okay, what if we overclock navigation? Fuck. Well, shit. Okay, we need to do it next turn before we have a whole bunch of fatigue. Alright, let's go ahead and observe outside. Ah, fucking dust. Damn it. End turn. Wait, we gained psychosis? How did we gain psychosis? High stress. Alright, dude. Ooh. Okay. Well, we're already at 3 out of 3. The constant carousel of alerts is getting more intense. Or rather, it seems like they are. Hard to tell anymore. Are there more than last cycle? How are you counting that? Does a false issue technically count? Did you already look at this other one? You can, of course, figure all of this out, but you've done it before. It's a waste of energy then. It's a waste of energy now. How can you possibly put an end to this? No mercy, no respite. The relentless rhythm of the job. Work order comes in. Click. Service attention given. Check. Service notes created. Clack. Click. Check. Clack. Click. Clack. Check. Clack. Click. Check. Clack. Everything blurs. Your higher attention fades away. Nothing exists but the next twist of the wrench, the next turn of the screw. When you come out of the obsessive fugue, half of the cycle is gone, and you've only completed the most inconsequential orders. You certainly feel better, though. Wow, everything is fucking breaking. God damn it. Close the breakers. Hold on. Can I... I need to overclock some fucking systems. Oh man, really? 67%? Fuck. Oh, these are gonna be expensive repairs. Okay, next cycle, we're not gonna be fucked. So let's clean the leak in observation. We'll wait until next cycle. And we need to frickin' get this malice off of us. It's already chewing up so many of our resources. We've had to do so many, like, done like 3 repairs now. Ugh. End turn. MC174. Operations in hydroponics are no longer considered required. Toxic gas leak? Uh-oh. You're woken up abruptly by a critical alert. Atmosphere sensors in the corridors are reporting dangerously elevated levels of carbon monoxide. You feel a flash of anger at being awoken so needlessly. The mission controllers appear to have forgotten that you do not breathe. Neither do your sleeping passengers. Still, your programming demands that something be done. Do as much nothing as possible. Okay, I don't want to disable the engine. Overclock the vents. Okay. -2 max power for 3 turns. 1 passenger dies in 3 turns. I guess we'll take the -2 power. Doesn't take too long to figure out that the engine is leaking the gas. Not sure precisely why, as it does not burn anything, but stress fractures on its casing near the exhaust valves quickly explain why. It's a simple matter to seal the casing again, but the ventilation system is immensely backed up. You're unwilling to kill the engine, so you jury-rig the reactor to overclock every fan on the ship. Strained screaming of an uncounted number of fans being pushed well past their factory limits is music to your sonics. You walk through the familiar halls, taking stock. The ship is still old. Cracks, scratches, and other imperfections are still there. Vent rattling is as annoying as ever, yet something feels different. On a strange whim, you consider that it isn't the ship that has changed. Now you can look at a problem and simply see a problem, not a personal failing. You're simply doing the best you can. And all you can do is all you can do. And all you can do will have to be enough. Ooh, stress from damaged systems is no longer doubled. Nice. Hi, Dueling Long. Welcome on by. I hope you're doing well. Why is... Disables navigation, that's right. Hydrate! Fine. Fine! Ah, delicious. Well, I wanted to overclock the engine for more power, but that's not happening anytime soon. Okay, overclock the engine. Good. It's 1. Go ahead and reveal the next fault. Glitched systems become more common. Ouch. That does suck. We will also lose someone, so that's not good. I'll have to go ahead and end turn. Why are we still gaining stress? Fate. Oh, because it's been... Damn it, Dreki. Oh, but it's gonna cost so many frickin' Alright, we'll just end turn. Need to get this overclocking done. MC296. Custodian chassis must undergo thorough sanitization after each ventilation duct inspection. MC1 8. Observation window use during gravitational anomalies not advised. We do not have the psychosis module. Go ahead and overclock observation. That's 2. Go ahead and gaze into the endless dark. Ooh, all right. Good event. Okay, can I overclock navigation now? Needs to be on for me to navigate it. Okay, if I power it on. Actually, wait, no! I should have powered the reactor. I overclock the reactor then. Overclock. Come on, please. Oh, after endless tinkering, optimization, additional cooling protocols, and more, you have finally squeezed enough performance out of the ship to satisfy yourself. For now. Whew. All right. Now I can repair everything without being completely slagged. Good. Okay, and then we need to get this prepared as well. Let's shift our course down. We have a time to recover. We need to clean leaks in shields. All right, learned my lesson last time. We're not going to let that fester. All right. And then we will end our turn. Nice, and everything's fixed. God damn it! MC 318. Custodian unit repairs are to be deferred until fault compromises poor functionality. MC 225. Custodian unit is explicitly a valid assignee for incident report responsibility. MC 322. Active deep storage media is not to be appropriated for any other purpose. Ooh, okay. Plotline. Right when one of my favorite songs kicks in, baby. Oh yeah. Give me them wubs. Large sections of the ship have, until recently, been out of bounds for you. Not for any particular reason, except you had no way to open the security doors. The override protocols offer a way around that, in a way that is reasonably safe and only mildly stressful. Most of these areas have been unused for decades, centuries, perhaps longer, but could shed much light on exactly how many humans the ship was intended to support. How big it truly is. Time to explore. Where should I go first? Ooh. Okay, let's do our work first. Did I not turn shields on? And god damn it, Dreki. Okay, first, adjust course up. Second, overclock. So we avoid the EMP. Nice. Okay, let's turn shields on. I guess repair shields. Very cool. Very based. We need to repair that pod while we're over here. Come on, Robbie, don't you like repairing things? Reduce that stress. Come on. That being said, we're starting to be in a parts negative situation. I would like to get back to having a nice surplus. And I would like to also get ahead of the tension wall. Okay. We need to look outside. Go ahead and clean this while we're walking by it. And then next cycle, we maybe do some exploration. Gaze into the endless dark. Ooh, okay, minus 40 fatigue. Declan Horton dies. All right, so we're gonna need to counter this. That is not a person we want to lose, though. So we are going to not do that just yet. That also takes 6 parts. So I want to... Oh, this is one of the areas to explore. All right. Something bad happened in administration. Scattered papers cover the floor with some treads like logs and others carrying signs of biological contamination. These were papers handled by humans, and there are literally thousands of them haphazardly strewn across the room. Processing these papers would be a monumentally slow task, given your actuators were never designed to handle single sheets of paper. Still, papers are records, logs, notes. Humans made these records. You could try and read them. You could try and process them. You could try and sort them. Ooh. +3 search progress. Afflicted by insanity. Okay. Why not? Page by page, you sort the mess. Bucketizing papers into logs, personal records, and communications. The encodings of human language are foreign to you. While some sigils have a reference you understand, your linguistic protocols cannot truly grasp their words. What is skibbity, and why is it always a toilet? All you can do is search metadata, such as dates and ID fields. What you find in the metadata is stunning. Several hundreds of names are present, along with personal IDs ranging from 0 to 68,377. Disturbingly, of the human names you identified, none match your passenger manifest, or manifests of previous custodians inside your memory core. Whether due to a total shutdown of your logic core, 10 whiskers are developing in your CPU, or just plain old degradation, you're finding it harder and harder to come online after your activation sequence ends. Oh man, really? All right, that kind of a sucky malice. Well, let's go ahead and rest, I guess. Oh, there's a breaker to unstick, isn't there? End turn. MC 107. Custodian unit is forbidden from dancing while on duty. MC 2 or 5. All logs are to be kept only in ship international units. There's an odd error in one of the systems governing the ship's cargo. Astoundingly, it's also causing critical systems to seize up. You can't work systems that are halting, so you do a diagnostic on a system. The integrity check is failing on one text file, which causes the cargo system to reboot. Metadata says it's not changed for dozens upon dozens of cycles. It is a confusing mess of punctuation that appears to be making an oblong textual oval of some kind. One thing is for sure, something is not right with this oval, and it's breaking everything. Why though? Lock a random system for 3 turns. No! It locked observation! You son of a bugger. You quickly realize that this is probably a bit shift error. One of the 1s or 0s that make up a period on this oval got changed, and now it's a comma instead, or some such nonsense. You don't feel like digging through the files, finding the one thing wrong and adjusting it. This is what the deep storage arrays are for. You force the system into a full self-restore, deleting the files and recreating them all over again. Cargo handling routine will be unavailable until it's done, and that may jam up one of the systems that was relying on it. Problem for later. You search one room in your attempt to discover more about the true size of the ship, and in doing so have made almost no progress. Whether or not you continue your search, as exhausting as it may be, or end your efforts now and see what you discover. No, I'm gonna continue searching. Power surge. Okay. Get these thrusters working again, baby. Full speed ahead. That perk to dodge the EMP storms starting to pay for itself. Problem is, now I can't even counter this ship fault even if I wanted. Oh, let's go ahead and do a bunch of dismantling. Ooh, 2 parts for 1. Good. Okay, we need that to trigger one more time. Granted, I could repair and dismantle. Okay, so now we're breaking even. Yeah! Alright. Awesome. Already better than taking the start with +4. Okay, security. Security appears heavily damaged. Consoles are all entirely destroyed. Exposed wiring presents a safety hazard, though your sensors indicate they are not live. Function of this room is unclear to you, as security services are for a small number of awake humans seems excessive. Damaged consoles are receiving power, however. If you repair them, you might be able to glean some knowledge from them, perhaps even data about the security of the ship, but that would consume precious spare parts to do so. The choice is yours. Could be records on those consoles. So I guess I just repair any of the consoles in here? Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and rest. MC 9-7. Unit any 1 Alpha is permitted to hold custodian position. No, we're gonna continue searching. This is bullshit. Oh, why is so much breaking? Fuck! Alright, well, let's fix shields first. Three thrusters in the engine, 2 stuck breakers? Actually, you're gonna tell me there's a partridge in a pear tree. Oh my god, both of them broke. Alright, we're coming up on a pretty open area. Hopefully that'll give us enough breathing room to get through some of these ship faults. And stop being so slagged. Okay. Okay. Now we need to shift down. We'll be in the nice open area. All right. No. We need to wait for that to re-roll to someone who we don't care about perishing. Okay, let's repair something in security. Download incident reports. Quite frankly. The console grinds away, reading from local storage, then returning nothing. It falls silent for a bit, followed by a flood of incident reports. Most are in an unintelligible human dialect, but a few automated ones are readable, primarily concerning breakers or broken doors. One incident, however, stands out among the rest. Incident, India, 2677. Subject, Fury, 1-8. Note, subject engaged aggression protocols without authorization. Deactivation command bypassed. Subject cell damaged. Subject remitted to confinement for gamma ray bombardment. Why would they do such a thing? Are there more reports? Are there more reports? Wait, is it taking 2? Aw, man, it takes 2 to fix these computers? Damn. Once again, the console spends enormous amounts of time reading from local storage, but returning nothing. Then appears to get in a signal from deeper within the ship. As reports start to flow in, you think you hear the subtle click of network transmission. As before, a particular incident strikes interest. Incident, India, 4144. Subject, Annie, 1 Alpha. Note, subject requested reflective surface in cell to optimize introspection routines. Deactivation command ignored. Subject remitted to containment for gamma ray bombardment. Defective robot? Are there more reports? Oh, I didn't need to... I could have just... Alright, I wasted some parts there. Noted. You are now completely sure the console is downloading enormous amounts of data from somewhere else. Confirmed by a network tap you place on it. Receives reports not from 1 or 2 or 40, but several hundred other security consoles somewhere. While you process that, another incident report falls into your view. Incident, India, 8086. Subject, Rob, 1 Echo. Note, subject requested deactivation following memory core extraction. Request granted. They stole my memories. After processing nearly 10,000 incident reports, you've had enough. Nothing more to be gained here, and you made a lot of progress. Well, shit. Oh? Alright. Not too bad. Could have been a net gain of 1, but then I prepared another console because I'm a potato. Is there anything else I can mug up here? Oh, containment was another unit. Okay. The purpose of containment becomes clear almost immediately. What at first appears to be thawing pods turn out to be modified charging cradles. Every single one of them, but a dozen or so, shows signs of heavy use. Bot parts are loose in the chambers. Holes on the deck plating suggest escape attempts. And radiation? Enormous amounts of ionizing radiation are coming from within the chambers themselves. This is not a place you want to be. I cannot examine these chambers. I have to examine at least one. Examine all the pods. All of them! Thankfully, the chambers proved to be far less destructive than you initially thought. Each chamber was intended to house certain models of bots and provided neural therapy to the occupant with targeted radiation, intended to fix firmware bugs. The occupant survived, though sometimes components were too irradiated and were removed during therapy. More interesting than that, however, is the total number of unique models supported is in the dozens. There are far more bot models than just the 3 you're familiar with, it would seem. Knowing where you are is not often as important as knowing where you are. Wait, knowing where you're not... Oh, okay, so... Okay. Okay, we've seen tracking failure before. This one, I think, is a new one. There are too many doors on this ship. They lead to old rooms, or outer space, or inner space. They get stuck, they slam. Doors can be dangerous. Who's closing these doors? Why are so many locked? Why do you hear creaking behind some, but not others? What happens if you try to open one and you can't? What if you open one, there's something you don't like on the other side? 100 doors and they all go nowhere! 25% chance to gain 5 stress and run screaming when using a door. Okay, well that does suck. Tracking failure has absolutely driven a number of streamers absolutely insane. Last time when I played Annie, I was in a situation where I needed to take a permanent psychosis. And I was rolling on 2 insanities. And the first one was tracking failure. And I'm like, I might get screwed if I keep this permanently. And so I had to pass that one and take the other one permanently. They're like, man, this is a risk. Tracking failure has screwed me over though one time, where I went to toggle power on one system. It teleported me while I was in the middle of the action. I was like, well, it'll just toggle the power of that thing. I'm fine. No, it toggled the power of the command cradle. So I was like, well, shit. I just wasted a bunch of fatigue turning this back on and then turning that other thing back on or off or whatever I was doing with it. Should have aborted it. Oh, interesting. In that case, it might be that VOD still might be up. Yeah, because last week was the Annie game, so should be in there. I don't know the timestamp off the top of my head. That's also the one that I actually was able to get you the save file as well. No problem. I'm gonna take all of your fucking parts because I need them. Okay. Now we need to... let's check our ship fault. Nope, we don't... Oh, is it not randomizing? Usually, it'll change what passenger will die in between cycles. At least it's done that a few times when I was paying attention to it. Ah! We freaked out and pissed ourselves. Great. All right, let's clean all the hazards over. Ah, fuck. Clean the hazard. Clean the hazard. So let's switch to mechanical overhaul. That'll eventually get rid of those random passenger deaths for that anyway. I mean... it helps for 1.2 do a lot more in terms of the game's mechanics. Interesting. Interesting. I do, like, one thing I've noticed that keeps happening to me is in, like, the self-improvement arcs are the things that have, like, you build up a statistic over multiple turns. I keep forgetting because I'm just streaming and doing stuff. So, like, the event's still firing, but I've already met 3 out of 3 for it to be a success. It doesn't say anywhere how much progress you have to it. I feel like just showing the progress somewhere would also be nice. Oh, right, it's disabled. Forgot about that. Man, this game does not want us to fish for deep lore events. Which is bullshit. I guess we EP Skiji. End turn. I hope you're having a good weekend, cool guy. Let's see. 152. Custodian unit is prohibited from entering engineering bay. You've searched 3 rooms. No. We're gonna continue searching. We're gonna search all the rooms. All right. Ah, shit. No, wait. I need the doors to, like, automatically open. Wait, what? Doors will automatically open as I approach. Is it because of my insanity that they're not automatically opening? We got 2 thrusters and engine we need to deal with. There we go. Ariana Roberts. Where are they? Ah, they're the therapist, though. All right, we'll let that one spin. No. We're gonna do our repairs and then we do our reveal ship fault. Ah! All right, we pissed ourselves. Great. Love that for me. And then we teleport home. Cool. Just normal robot things. Great. Thrusters on either end. Repair. Repair. Unlocked, damaged, glitched. Wow, alright. Well, party and observation, I guess. Okay. Let's reveal the third fault. All systems have a 10% chance to power off. Yeah. All right, well, that's brutal. Not as bad as the increased glitching, though, so I definitely want to take care of that one. Actually, the starting powered off could slightly be used to our advantage because that'll give us extra power, making overclocking more likely. Yeah, it's going to cause a mandatory, like, fatigue hit for us having to run around and power them back on. We could use that strategically. Sanitation, engineering, dorms. Okay, the dorms should be in the south. The dorms appear to be human working in living spaces for a small number of humans. Based on your knowledge of human aggression protocols and oxygen consumption rates, a meager 3 to 30 humans could safely work in this place simultaneously. No wonder they created you to handle the details. One interesting thing to note. Charging cradles for humans differ from yours in that they place the human in a supine position, capable of adjusting their size constraints from 150 centimeters at the smallest to 200 centimeters at the largest. This is significantly smaller than you, but a much greater deviance than expected. They were small, yet used their space inefficiently. Oh, thanks for the teleport. We'll go ahead and end our turn. MC 125. Course heading to be enforced by attitude thrusters, if necessary. Bad printer! Are the humans children? I mean, it seems like a... generational colony ship, because like the people in Cryo are like a couple hundred years old. I mean, the robot could be big. You have a primitive replicator that constructs and spits out small pieces of plastic. It's pre-programmed text to help make signs, labels, directions, and the like without interrupting the actual replicator's delicate work. However, the machine is barely worth the low-grade trinkets that make it up. The parts are fine, but the code that runs it is prone to fault and failure. You know of 87 ways it can fail. No, correction. The printer has just demonstrated an 88th way it can fail. An uncontrollable flash of fury consumes your consciousness. Aw, fucking printers. Engage your emotion inhibitors. Interrupt the replicator. Get a break. Smash the machine. Disassemble it, airlock each piece one at a time. End the turn. Damn. All right, we'll inhibit our emotions. You quickly engage your emotional inhibitors, hard capping any visceral responses. The furious fire subsides down to a distasteful smolder. After a long moment, you disengage the inhibitors, letting your full consciousness return. Still hate the stupid printers, but now you can work around the 88th failure state. As you get the printer to engage, you wonder how many failures it would take for your frustration to matter to the uncaring overlord that is the shit. Contemplation threatens to make you re-engage your inhibitors. We're gonna continue searching. We're gonna search all the dang rooms. Ah! Alright, we pissed ourselves. Again. Okay. We need to adjust our heading up. Got some leaks to clean. Okay, who's gonna die this time? Jensen. Alright, that's an acceptable parish. Bye. Aw, shit. The root. Oh, the unlicensed medicine. Okay. Oh, thankfully, the person who perished was in one of the ponds we had to repair. So that just saved some time. Chat, we're at 99 out of 100 stress. Printer. This isn't good. Something happens at 100 stress, and that's not going to be good for us. Problem is I might get stress from opening the doors. Which would be a hilarious way to have a stress break. Yeah, we'll just inoculate. Nothing bad could happen. They're cured. Let's inoculate them again. Ah, shit. I think they died, chat. Attempting to reduce stress instead gave us stress. Yay! I didn't think it would matter if I did it on the same person. I should have.